Welcome to Talks and Sips, where fun is the best chaser. I am Jess Cisneros, aka J Fox, helping you get through your ebbs and flows of another sip-worthy week. And this week we have an amazing, very funny fella here with me today. And what's your name?
My name is Matt Olson.
What's up, Matt Olson? Are you part of the Olson family?
Yeah.
Are you really?
But
Do they treat you like the Kardashians treat Rob? Do you want to talk about it?
I don't know who Rob is.
Rob Kardashian? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. No one knows who Rob is.
I think the Olsen twins are different Olsons. I think I'm an Owen. I think they might be Ian's, but I could be wrong.
Well, what's your deal? What you do? What's your sign?
So when I was a kid and we were like learning about like astrology, like first we did like Chinese astrology, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I was like a dragon in that. Which
That's
is
amazing.
Like, it's the best thing to be.
Hell yeah.
And then we're doing like, normal astrology. I don't want to say normal. Whatever.
Americanized.
I don't think it's from America.
No.
Wherever it's from.
Pop culturized.
I'm just gonna assume it's Roman and say Roman astrology.
Roman astrology.
Everyone's like, oh, I'm a lion, I'm a ram, and like, what's Matt? Oh, Matt's a virgin.
Oh.
Why is virgin one of them? That shouldn't be one of them.
Matt.
They should all be animals.
Matt, are you a virgin?
No, I mean I'm a Virgo.
No, that is rude though.
It's rude for that to be one of the astrological signs.
You're a Virgo. So your birthday's in September.
Yes.
Oh, September 11th?
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Did you have a rough birthday?
It's a week. It's the 19th. It's a week after. So I get like a nice lead into my birthday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, if anything, people are more grateful for your birthday. They're like, oh, we're so happy you're here.
Think about something else. Yeah.
You are the distraction that we needed. Who knew?
Mm-hmm. I was 13 when it happened. I don't remember what I did for my birthday.
You were 13. Holy moly. So that would make you either in 7th grade or 8th grade.
Oh, yeah. I was in 8th grade.
You were in 8th grade, but you don't remember what you were doing in 8th grade.
Like that day or that?
Yeah, I remember what I was doing.
We just watched the news that day.
Really? They just put out... Did you guys have the TV on the wheelie thingy and they roll it out?
Oh, yeah. And the giant like block canister.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. I remember... I don't remember a lot of details, but the one detail I do remember of that day was that like a lot of parents came to pick up their kids. Pretty much school was out, and like my parent, I have tons of siblings, dude, and so like it was one of those things where it was like, well, my mom can't come get all of us, you know what I mean? And some of us take a little bit more priority. It's true. Than me. And so I just remember like being on a swing with my little friend. His name is Alex. Who was closeted gay back then and is now married to his husband. Everything full circle, right? And we were just on the swings and we just swung like during golden hour, basically, till we got picked up. And that's all I can remember from that day. Not the devastation or any of that. Like I was a child, but isn't that wild?
Yeah. So now when you think about terrorist attacks, you just think of like a nice idyllic day in the park, swinging with your friend.
At school, after school. I don't know what the world of the airport is before 9/11, so I don't know what the luxury of flying back then would have been considered because, I didn't start flying until I was like early college when I decided to go follow a boy across the United States like an idiot. We all do that, right?
As you do, yeah.
As you do, of course. And so I do remember like, oh man, getting like toiletries on this airplane is like mission impossible. Everything has to be microscopic in ounces. It has to fit in one thing. You can't put it here. You got to take your shoes off. God forbid you have any electronics on you. Like, it's just crazy. And so the other time, I was at a Buc-ee's in Texas, and I decided, like, I really want this jalapeno jam to come home with me for toast. And I'm like, oh, it's only, what did it say? It's only 4. That's what it said. And it's just the most embarrassing thing I've ever been through at the airport. So I'm going through, we're checking my stuff at TSA. And then, of course, my stuff always gets flagged because I always have like a camera or something crazy on me. And so basically the guy's like, do you have like a candle on here? And I'm like, no. And then I'm like, oh. He pulls out my jalapeno jam from Buc-ee's and he goes, you can chuck this in. This is too big for carry-on. And then I was like, oh, but it's 4 ounces. He's like, no, it's 4 pounds.
Oh, no.
It wasn't 4 ounces. It wasn't even close.
4 pounds of jam. That's like a big.
It was like she was thick with 3 C's. You know what I'm saying? She was like, and so I was like very excited to bring this home. Just because there's no Buc-ee's around here and they don't have it online.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is because I've never been to Texas.
Okay. Well, they're making their way out of Texas, but Buc-ee's is like this incredible, essentially it's like a gas station Walmart with beavers on everything. It's great.
Okay.
But outside of Buc-ee's, like, what? Well, how are you? What are you up to these days?
You know, I haven't been doing as much comedy as I've been wanting to. That is my thing since I moved to LA. I was doing a lot of comedy up in Seattle and a little less down here. I've been in LA like a year, and I'm just like working a lot.
Yeah.
And not doing comedy. Just like working to be in LA so that I can like do comedy, but I can't because I'm working. Yeah.
It is a two-edged sword, and I think if you can figure out how to do drugs properly, you might succeed. I'm just kidding. That's terrible advice. Don't ever do too many drugs.
Well, if I was into uppers, that might be helpful. You know, if I had like an Adderall habit, but I really only like weed, and it's not that helpful for being productive.
No freaking way. Like, no. And do you get the weed? Like, I don't smoke too much weed, but when I do, I know the next day it's like I get the like.
Oh, I wouldn't know because I smoke every day.
Oh, he
Since
smokes
I was like
weed every day.
15, so I like who knows what it's like to not be smoking weed? It's
really
beyond.
Are you high right now?
No.
Whoa.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bitch, you are welcome. Anyway, how has this February been treating you? Because I know everyone complained that January went so fast. And before you answer that, I will say this. Eventually and hopefully, I'm sending out the positivity vibes that like you meet the right person that leads you into the right, situation where you actually don't have to work as hard and you can go back to having the time to do what you got to do, which is making people laugh. LOL.
Matter of time. My February's been okay. I'm excited about it getting a little bit warmer. I have a situation where I can't close my windows. Because the window in my apartment leads out to a little ledge that's like an enclosed cage. And I have 2 cats. So I'm like, okay, that's the cat area.
Oh,
they hop out the window and they have their little like cat palace.
Wow. You're not just doing it for you, boo-boo. You're doing it for them.
Right. It's all for them.
It's all for them.
But if I close the window, they'll scream and they'll paw at it and they won't let me sleep. So I have to always have my window open.
No. Do you have like any AC heater situation?
I have like a little radiator heater that's right under the window, and I have to it's a gas thing that I have to use a stick lighter to light the pilot light with, and it's just too much of a pain to use, so I don't really use it.
That is the most LA thing I've heard. I'd rather just have 10 blankets here and just wear 4 socks. And you know what though? The cats shut the fuck up. They're outside.
I haven't used my heater at all this winter. I'll just put on a coat.
Hey, let me tell you, I respect you for that 100%, 100, because apparently, and this is for all the LA people paying the LA prices, the power company decided we're using too much power, so we're gonna just raise the prices for everyone. And so an average person was paying a bill for their electric bill. It went up to 3.
That's too much.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Because they have internal air and heater. So kudos to you, my guy.
Yeah, I'm thriving, I guess.
You are thriving. You are glowing. How they say in LA, yes, queen. You're doing it.
Oh, that's an LA phrase. Okay.
Is it are more people saying it? I don't think I've ever heard it. I don't hear Texan women saying, yes, queen, thrive, glow. Yes, bitch.
Well, so much of LA is influencing culture in general. I think it's hard to tell what is a local what is local culture and what is just pop culture in general. It's hard to tell.
Totally fair. Okay, so what entertainment have you brought in for me today? what are your some people call them memes, some people call them giffies. What do you call them?
My favorite meme.
Yeah, your favorite
my
meme.
favorite meme. I spend a lot of time on Twitter. And I have my normal Twitter, and then I have like my fake right-winger Twitter where I like pretend to be a conservative just to like fuck with people. And to like spy, because I always want to know what they're up to.
Yeah, fair.
I'm obsessed with this meme that I sent it to you, but it's a picture of someone just like a teen boy. It's a TV screen with like the menu of God of War up, and there's this teen boy, and he's got a folding chair, and he's about to smash the screen with the folding chair.
Yes.
And the text says, "Atheists when they realized they played God of War instead of Science of War."
Oh my gosh. This is so funny.
I love this meme for several reasons. I think it has layers to it.
Yeah.
The fact that someone made it and thought this was like a real gotcha for atheists. One, just the fact that like, if you're playing a video game with a title, that means that you should believe that everything in the title is real.
100%, 100. That's literally how we survive as a human race in culture today. Continue.
But then the idea that the fact that it's called God of War means that the Christian God is true, which isn't the God that's referring to at all. You'd think that, like, if this was a gotcha, it would be, the fact that this is a video game means that the Greek pantheon of gods is real.
Right.
That should be the gotcha.
I love it. It's such a shitpost. Mm-hmm. And I realize, like, when did shitposts get so popular? Why do we like them so much? Why do we like them so much?
I think that's always what the internet is. I think that's the base. Shitposting is just the base reality of the internet. Like, the internet was made, people shitposted, and then everything else is layered on top of that.
So at the core, the World Wide Web, and you're hearing it here first, everyone, is for shitposting.
I mean, that's what the early internet was, right? It was just all...
I'm remembering Vines that way. For sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I really miss those days a lot. I miss when people would just make the most obnoxious, crazy, silly, outlandish content out there, and they'd do it like it just, you can do it, what was it, like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, like crazy, 6 seconds, just so small, and it's like, boom, that's the bit. I miss that.
I was late on the Vine train. I feel like I got into it right when it like died
out. That's my curiosity too, and maybe someone knows, or maybe I don't know. I can do a deep dive if we want. But what murdered Vine? Like, why did Vine die?
I think it got sold.
Oh, that never mind.
It's probably Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, he's been at it for a long time. Mm-hmm. We just didn't know it. Do you remember MySpace? That's what I meant.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Zanga was my first one before MySpace.
What is that?
Zanga was like it was basically Tumblr, but like for the early 2000s.
Okay. And then was that taking off at all? Was there a lot of people on that, or not really?
When I was in high school, that was the thing.
It was
jam? Zanga. Everyone was on each other's Zangas and getting into Zanga fights.
What was a typical Zanga fight?
Just high school drama.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, you stole my boyfriend, Becky. She's like, he didn't even want you. Kind of like that.
Yeah, basically stuff like that. Yeah.
I miss Facebook for the sole reason that you could design it however you want it to, and you could put music on, and somehow...
You're talking about MySpace.
I keep saying Facebook, huh?
They're basically the same thing now.
Did Tom sell MySpace over to... Elon Musk? No, I'm just kidding. No, everyone knows. He was like, I'm dipping. Bye. I made my money.
Good for him.
Good for him. And Tom's like, I just wanted to be in your friends list, and I just wanted to let you control your own blah, blah, blah.
The least evil social media mogul, probably.
Yeah, and then he always had that like pixelated shitty picture of him in a white t-shirt where you could barely recognize him. So there was like some, what is it? The word anonymity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
A little bit. So I love memes, and I love looking at GIFs, and I wish I was better at the whole TikTok thing, but it just gets really overwhelming sometimes.
For sure.
And so the other day, I was just minding my business on the toilet, like everyone else, on my phone. And yet we take our phones everywhere. And I recently saw a clip of a guy trying to show a girl how to do a certain like movement at the gym. And so basically, he didn't have pockets, so he puts his phone in his mouth to show her, to like mansplain how to do this movement. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so then he goes like that, you know? And so in the video, she's like, okay. So she goes, she puts her phone in her mouth and she starts doing it. And then he realizes like, oh, she's shitting on me right now. And like phones are disgusting and we do that. Like I leave my phone on the gym floor. Anyway, so as I was on the toilet looking at memes, I found this one. And actually maybe you can help explain this to me because I'm not really into anime at all. My boyfriend is. Ironically, my sister, because of her high school son, is. But it's like a picture of someone from a Dragon Ball Z, and it's like, you're a poop watching you scroll through my memes for 30 minutes. Who's that?
Oh, I don't know. I tried to watch Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have the patience for it because they never got to the fucking fights.
They never did, right?
There's a whole episode of they're like, we're gonna fight.
We're gonna fight.
It's gonna happen.
I hate you. Mm-hmm. You did something about, like, why it was like a novella. Like, why did these men have so much anger towards each other? And then why did their hair always change? And then like every time they fought, things were like Superman level bad, I guess. And then somehow these planets would explode, yet somehow they always found new planets. That's the gist of what I got.
Mm-hmm. I know I watched all of it and I retained none of it. I said I dropped out. I meant like just mentally. I still watched it.
You're just like I collected the fan art, but still no clue why those men were fighting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that might be a character called Vegeta, but I don't know. I could be completely wrong.
All the anime heads out there like, what the fuck, man?
I know it's a bad guy.
Well,
but not the green one, not the green bad guy.
Everyone knows the green bad guy.
Of course.
He looks like an angry bird almost.
He looks like he could be one of the aliens from Animorphs.
What's that?
What's Animorphs?
Yeah. Educate me.
It was a teen book series, a young adult book series about kids who turn into animals to fight aliens.
That's wonderful. Has it been made into a movie yet?
Sadly not. I think with this whole, like, with kind of culture turning on J.K. Rowling, people are, begging for Animorphs to come back to kind of replace Harry Potter's like spot in that world, because it was like the big like youth fantasy series like before Harry Potter like came in. I think.
Why do you think it didn't take off the way Harry Potter did?
It was real dark.
Oh. We weren't ready for that yet.
Yeah, the writer K.A. Applegate wrote a lot of young adult book series that were just like real fucked up.
Oh.
Had a lot of kids suffering like PTSD because of their like participation in like a lot of violent stuff. I don't know. I think Animorphs was probably anti-fascist. Maybe it got censored for that reason. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, yeah. Then yeah, it was. We couldn't. I feel like we have a bit, like a little bit better of a bandwidth now for things like that, though.
Yeah, it's time. It's time for Animorphs.
Let's bring it. Bring it. Alrighty. And then, like, what do you do for people that are getting to know you here today? Because you said you work, like Rihanna says.
Yeah. I mean, I work at the Writers Guild of America, just like office stuff. I manage the theater. I do mailroom stuff.
How'd you get the gig?
I used to manage a theater up in Seattle called the Pocket Theater. It was a comedy theater up there that lasted from like 2012 to 2019. Mm-hmm. R.I.P.
Aww.
It was a beautiful place. But I just had that experience running a theater. So.
Oh, I see. I have another friend. I think her name is Nora. I don't know which theater she does at, but she basically does it. And she's a huge film loving lady. She just like know so much. And I'm like, man, mad respect for you guys that like can go in and know more than just like the basic old films, you know what I mean, that they teach you in film school, and you guys can like really, really just legitimately love older cinema. Like it's not like blockbuster bullshit, and you guys like can see the beauty and follow. It's just I wish I had that bandwidth. I can't even do regular TV right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I did go to film school, and I work in a movie theater. I don't really like movies that much. They're fine, you know, take them or leave them.
Yeah, really?
I like horror movies, but there's too many of the non-horror movie variety that, you know, you can't watch them all. Life's too short.
Yeah, there's so much. Have you heard of Knock on the Cabin or something, like the new M. Night Shyamalan movie that's coming out? Or
yeah,
that may have came out. Ooh.
Yeah,
no,
it's out.
Yeah,
it's out.
Yeah.
It was playing at my theater last night, but I didn't see it because I had to get up at 7 for work.
I'm sorry. So you're like, I've been awake for a while.
I don't think M. Night Shyamalan movies are very good lately, but I still really like watching them because when they're bad, I think they're bad in a very entertaining way.
That's fair. No, that's fair. And because I know there's other movies that you see out there that are like B, you know, and you're like, I shouldn't have wasted my time on this. There was what was that show that everybody was raving about? It was the one about like there was a minister, there was like a gargoyle. Oh my God, it's gonna drive me crazy. It was on Netflix, and everybody was raving about it, and I was like, I don't understand why we like this movie so much. Hold on, let me find it.
Gargoyle.
Or it looked like a gargoyle, it looked like a monster. I just know there was like a priest.
Midnight Mass.
That's it. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Well, what's your take on Midnight Mass?
It was boring. It could have been a really entertaining movie, but because it was a TV series, it was just stretched out. There's a lot of filler.
Oh my God, thank you.
I think it could have just been a movie.
Thank you. Okay.
Can I spoil it?
Yeah, absolutely. Go.
At the end of that, they're all the vampires are on this island, and I guess they like burn down all the shelters. So like the sun's coming up, and all the vampires are like, "Oh, we're all gonna die now because there's nowhere to hide from the sun on this island. So I guess we're just all gonna die
Together?
Yeah.
Like they fucked everybody up, ruined everything, and then died?
And then they just kind of like accept the fact that like, oh, there's nothing we can do. But like I think there's stuff you could do. Like if you're a vampire on an island, the sun's coming up, there's no houses. Like you could dig a hole. You're telling me no one on this island has a tarp?
Oh my God, thank you. And wasn't the first ones, because I didn't get that far, I fell off obviously. But weren't they like chilling out in a cave already? Weren't they already somewhere in the dark?
Yeah.
Then what?
I don't know.
What? Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
It was a contrived ending. They wanted everyone to die, but they didn't have a way to make it make sense.
They didn't make it make sense. You know what doesn't make sense to me? Like Gen Z memes. Have you seen those at all lately?
Probably not.
Okay.
Give me an example.
What does this mean? What does this mean? Why does it mean?
Hans. It's a fucked up horse, and it says Hans.
Yeah.
I get it. I like it. It's like, you know.
I'm looking at this, and I don't get it. But I'm glad that you get it. All my guests seem to get Gen Z memes a lot more than I do. That's for sure. That is a fucked up horse.
Yeah, it's like you're in the character of someone who's like, you know, in the most respectful way, you're in the character of someone who's like maybe a little like cognitively disabled or just not good with like ideas or concepts or words, and and you're imagining like a whole reality extrapolated from that. So it's this fucked up, distorted image of a horse that looks like it was probably created by AI.
It does, yeah. It does look like AI created. Like that tail looks real fucked up. That looks like a camel toe on his face. That's messed up.
I think it's a way of just expressing your disconnect from like the world and reality. I think Gen Zers feel a little what's the word?
I think
just overwhelmed by reality.
Yeah. When I see these, I'm like, this is so random. But I think that's on purpose, right? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to be just not random, to be like intentionally weird but random to be unique almost. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's kind of Adult Swim humor too, right?
Yeah. I do remember seeing, I never really got into it that much, but I do remember kind of the Chicken Little stuff here and there.
Chicken Little?
Isn't that Adult Swim?
Robot Chicken.
See what I mean? Thank you. Robot Chicken. I remember like, I would watch it and be like, like it just cannot compute.
I mean, that was definitely random for the sake of being random. I don't think that was a very good show.
Okay. But didn't it go on for like forever and ever and ever and ever?
Yeah, I think so. There's a movie I just watched that I think is a really good example of just like bizarre, surrealist, kind of Adult Swim-esque humor called Greener Grass.
What's that about?
It's about like suburban soccer moms, but it's just real weird. It's like if an Adult Swim short went on for like 2 hours. Like it starts off with these two moms at a soccer game, and one of them has a newborn baby, and she's like, "Oh, that baby's so nice," and the other mom's like, "Oh, do you want it?" And then like gives the other mom her baby, and that's just kind of like the level that it starts out with, and it just kind of gets weirder from there.
Oh my gosh, that's so weird. Yeah, that's literally what that meme feels like, and that's what all those memes feel like to me. And someone's probably gonna get an Oscar for that movie, probably. Who knows, or whatever.
No, it was like 3 years ago, and they didn't.
That reminds me of a Tail and Duck. Or was it Tail? No, fuck. What's the movie called? It's a horror movie. You would know it since you like horror movies. Something Must Die, and it's about these like hillbilly guys who are trying to help these like college students, and like all these accidents keep happening.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a fun movie.
I love that this whole episode I'm like botching names and you're like, this is the name. And I love it because you know where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I'm just your like Google.
You are my human Google. You are, what is it? What's that phrase? Picking up what I'm putting down.
Oh, I missed that one. So.
Damn. Yeah, and that movie, I remember everyone was shitting on it for being just the way it is. And I remember being like, this is actually such a fun movie.
Were people shitting on it?
Yeah, some people were shitting on it. Yeah. Just kind of like how people were shitting on Cabin in the Woods.
I think people shat on Cabin in the Woods because it was like so overrated. Because it was such a big deal that people were like freaking out about it a little too much.
And they're like, it's not as good as you're making it seem. It is not The Sixth Sense. Like, get out of here.
I think Cabin in the Woods is really exciting the first time you watch it, especially if you don't know anything about it.
Oh, I love it. I can watch it over and over. I think it's so fun, the whole concept. And I love that Chris Hemsworth did that movie before he became Thor.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, he's like the jock guy?
Yeah.
Those guys, I have face blindness for. Like the people who are like Chris Hemsworth,
Chris Pine, Chris Pratt. I don't know.
Chris Pratt, his face I can make out.
Okay.
What's James Marsden?
Oh, James
like
Marsden.
those guys. They look. I could not pick them out of a lineup with each other. They look exactly the same to me.
What about Magic Mike? Channing Tatum. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, he also looks the same as them.
Oh.
I can't. I have no idea what they look like.
I like that they all have like different things that give them their pizzazz, even if they all look the same. Like Chris Pine can actually sing and no one really knows it. You're like, whoa, interesting. And then I believe, who is it? Like Joe, I can never say his last name. He's married to Sofia Vergara. Magdanello or something like that.
That's not a real person.
That's not a real name. He's like funny and into D&D, and so you're like, hold on, who are you people? But I wanted to ask you, you took the second course in improv.
The UCB 201. We met in UCB 101 for context of how we know each other.
And that was really fun. I like that you kept pursuing it. I just signed up. I don't know if I told you. I just signed up. So
Okay.
I'll be taking 201 come March. And then, the 3 or whatever. But what was your takeaway from 1? And then what was your takeaway from 2?
I mean, 101, I liked a lot. It was fun. And I just hadn't like done comedy at all like since the pandemic. So for me, it was just a little bit like getting back into it. But also like I had, I realized later I could have just skipped it.
You could have skipped 101?
I could have. because if people, if you have a certain level of experience, you can email them and like get them to give it. So
shut up.
like,
Cool.
because I had taken 101 classes before, and I had done improv for many years up in Seattle, but I had never really done. I just wanted to get like the legit UCB training.
Fair.
Because I always felt a little bit of like imposter syndrome about improv.
Oh, is it gone?
No.
You still have it? You're so funny.
Well, thanks, baby. I don't. I haven't really done that much lately.
I mean, because you're working, but dude, hello, you're working like wild, and you're still taking these classes that are 3 hours a pop, that are super expensive, that require like 8 weeks of your life.
Yeah.
So fair.
But I don't know. I liked 101, and it was just, I don't know. I liked everyone in the class. I feel like we had like a really good group.
It was really fun. Yeah, we got lucky.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I felt, and I liked 201 too, but I felt like I didn't feel as much like everyone was friends with each other like I did in 101. It was a little more like people a little more serious about it.
Oh, yeah, everyone would just try and shit on 101. So I am, like I said, going to that 201 at UCB. Is there anything that I should look out for, or be like, keep my eyes peeled for?
You mean in terms of dangers, things that
like, am I gonna fall off my chair? Can I trip onto the stage? Is a teacher gonna make me feel terrible? I'm just kidding. No, like
all those things are probably gonna happen. It's real rough. I don't know. I'm not as much a fan of their new Silver Lake location, which is where all of their classes are now. Because when we did it, we're in this real nice like mini theater.
Yeah, that was great.
In like East Hollywood or something.
That's where someone hit my car on my first day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, good times.
but it had this like nice stage and like theater seats, and now they're just like their Silver Lake location is like tiny classrooms.
Oh no!
So it's a little more claustrophobic, especially with like a big group of people. So it just creates less of a relaxed vibe, I think.
Yeah, because we were all kind of just spread out, really comfy.
Yeah. And this is just you're a little more like packed in.
Well, is it like school? Is it like school tables and chairs, or what's a seating situation?
Yeah, just an empty classroom with like 30 chairs.
Ew! I have nowhere to put my.
Yeah.
Whack! Where's my money going? UCB? Where? Okay, but as far as like who was your teacher this time?
Oh, the same teacher we had. It was Mike.
You had Mike
great,
again?
Yeah.
Did you do that on purpose?
No. That just it was like the instructor was TBD when I signed up.
Oh, wild!
Yeah, Mike Leffingwell, for the record. He's a very good teacher, nice guy, funny.
Yeah, he's very honest, and I think it was so hard. Like, I remember for 101, when we got maybe 3 or 4 classes in, I felt like, fuck, like, I can't seem to make my brain, like, make this work. And then I remember getting home that night, and maybe it's a whole, like, going after work and you're exhausted. So it's like, do you really have the brain juices for this, right? But are they operating at, like, your most optimal, peak levels? And so I'm hoping that the Saturday class really comes in, because, it's my weekend.
Oh, you're doing Saturday, like in the afternoon, or?
I'm doing 3 to 6.
Nice.
So who knows? Who knows? I don't know who my teacher is. I don't think it's Mike, though. But yeah, Mike was great. Mike was super nice. What grade did you get on 101?
Oh, I got an A.
I hate you. I hate him. I hate him.
I don't think they did grades in 201. I don't know if because on my review, I don't think there was a letter grade on it. So they're a little inconsistent about using them. Also, they don't matter. Like improv isn't really a thing that you can grade on a letter basis. It's a little more complex.
I know you've been working a lot. Have you been able to catch any improv shows in the meantime?
I think I'm more into sketch than improv.
Oh, cool.
So I've seen, I have a friend that's in a very funny local sketch group called Public Breakup that I've seen a few shows of.
Sick.
I saw a sketch group called Girl God.
Oh,
They're popular.
Yeah.
And stuff. They're good.
How do you like them?
They're very funny. I have like a personal like taste thing against when people do sketch shows with like beers in hand on stage.
Oh no.
And it's a little bit like we're too cool to like put our beer down to perform sketch comedy, but they make it work, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it would be better if they weren't holding beers, but you know, they're still very funny.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for letting me know, because I'm very excited and very nervous, and like I've never done improv before. That was my first time. And it was so fun. And so I was like, okay, I think I want to keep trying it and seeing if I'm like any good at it, like learning it correctly, you know?
And also like UCB isn't the only thing there is. So like because the further you go in UCB classes, you're just learning one form, which is the Herald, which isn't like necessarily the most fun form. It's very structured. It's a little rigid. And there's so many other like opportunities in LA to like get classes that are more just like we're just goofing around and doing like a fun montage type thing.
Fun.
Like WeProv and the Pack and the Clubhouse and stuff.
See, that's so helpful, because like as someone, and originally I did it more because my work is like in comedy podcasts. So I'm like, all right, I want to be able to understand and like really get the culture and get the vibes and like not feel left out, and when there's some jokes there or like referencing to certain people. And then I did it and I was like, oh, this is actually really fun. The whole like imagination, getting silly, pretending, heightening things like that, you know what I mean? And so I was like, all right, but no, that's super helpful. Like, and I know there's people that I'm sure have maybe at one point considered like, how do I break into this? And it's like, it feels so elusive. It feels like, you know, you just named off easily a bunch of different opportunities, and it's not like, how do you get that information?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still trying to get into sketch comedy in LA. If anyone has any ideas, I would, you know, I auditioned for a sketch team, a house sketch team last year, and I didn't get in.
Do you have to write? Do you have to know how to write? Isn't that like part of it?
For sketch, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's, you know, you're doing the same thing you're doing in improv.
Yeah.
You're just like slower. Or what we always say is that sketch comedy is like improv with a time machine. It's like you do a scene, then you're like, actually, it would have been funny if it went like this, and you can go back and fix it.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah. I have a buddy of mine who's going to take 201 with me, and he's in a sketch comedy group called Elephant Department. And I just love them so much. Yeah. And so I got to go and hang out with them, like as they did like runs and stuff in one of their apartments. And I was like, oh yeah, this is really fun. Like, you guys are creating these worlds. And I think it's that. It's like not taking it too seriously, but also having fun with your imagination and building something. Like, it's amazing. It's so fun.
What I love about sketch is that you're building something that's like disposable. Like, everything is like a world that after 5 minutes or so, that whole world is going to be destroyed. So anything can be true. Any like crazy left turn you want to take at the last like 30 seconds of the sketch you can do, because it doesn't matter. It's all going to get wiped away.
That's so funny. I never thought about it that way. Oh, you're so true. Yeah, you're right about that. I love it. Did they give you any feedback, that group that you auditioned for? Like, what did you have to do for them?
It was the Pack House sketch team. So I had to submit a writing packet and then like a video of like my sketch performances, and then I did 2 callbacks. One where I just performed sketch scripts that they gave me.
Ooh, nice.
And then a second one where I just like kind of do some of my own bits. Like whatever I can fit into like 2 minutes.
That's really intense. How many people were critiquing you?
I think it was a panel of like 5 people or something.
Yeah, that's scary. That is so scary.
It was a fun process to go through because I hadn't done a sketch show in like, you know, years,
so
and
long.
that's just my bread and butter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll try again next year.
Yeah. How often do they open it up for people?
I think they do that once a year.
Wow, that seems so exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all like comedy houses, they're just like cliques, you know.
Oh, is that? See, that's kind of discouraging.
But then there's like an indie, you know, scene or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like a part of why you like pay for UCB classes, because like, yeah, you're getting the training, but you're also like buying your way into a clique.
Oh, I guess I didn't think of that, right? Because isn't that the whole thing? You have to do the four classes before you can even try to audition for a Herald team, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Were you able to make any connects from 201, or was that like a dry well?
Yeah, not right. I probably could have been more social, but I just didn't try that much, and I was also real busy while doing that, so I was just like, like a lot of times coming straight from work and just being exhausted and leaving.
You're doing the like 7 to 10 situation again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You should. Is there any possibility where you can take the weekend or anything?
No, because I work in the movie theater for the Writers Guild, so I'm like pretty much always working on the weekends.
What are your days off, man?
I have,
because if you're working 7 days a week, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's illegal.
It should be. I
You're like, actually, they've been getting me on this thing called salary.
No, I'm not on salary, but I'm. I don't know. The things are just a little crazy. I do have tomorrow off.
Ooh, lovely. Mm-hmm. Are you gonna do anything nice?
No, I'm gonna fucking sleep.
You're just gonna sleep?
And I need to clean my apartment because I haven't in like a month.
And so those cats are like running amok.
Yeah, just living in filth.
Oh no! Cats don't like that.
It's fine. It's not.
Cats do not fuck around with that.
No, my cats like filth.
Yeah, I'm one with this filth.
They're into it.
All right. What's an unanswerable question?
An unanswerable question
that keeps you up at night sometimes.
What actually does keep me up at night while I'm like falling asleep is sometimes I think about like, what if every time I fall asleep, I like immediately go to hell and I get like tortured. And then once I wake up, I forget about it. And like all my memories of dreams are like fake dreams. So I never know that it's happening. Right. But like as soon as I fall asleep, I'm just going to be like
transported to hell.
Yeah. And just like suffering like the worst amount of pain.
But you have no idea.
It's as plausible as like the normal hell myth. So it's like, why not?
I like that. That. That's a hot one. Interesting. But you don't remember. Do you remember any of your dreams when you go to sleep?
I think only if I drink.
Really?
If I go to sleep when I'm drunk, I will like vividly remember my dreams.
Wow, that's
but I don't really drink that much anymore, so yeah, I never remember dreams now.
Wow, that's so crazy. I'm gonna say that maybe you are going to hell. I don't know. The reason that I'm kind of having a hard time with this one is because like I dream every night, and I don't really smoke. I here and there. I drink here and there, but I remember most of them.
That's nice. That's impressive.
No, it's exhausting because I wake up tired. So like like 3 nights ago, I would say I had a dream where I got shot with a shotgun, like at the distance that we are from each other.
Oh fuck!
And then I died. But then somehow me and a few other people that were also shot in that instance, like were ghosts together and could see our bodies.
So then you wake up and you're like, man, I've been through so much already.
And so in the morning I'm like, oh, I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna go to the gym. I don't wanna, blah. And that's usually how it goes for the first 30 minutes. But then 35 minutes into the day, I'm like, all right, let's do this thing. That's how I felt yesterday. We woke up and we're out and about. Like we were at a cafe by 7:30 in the morning.
Oh no.
I know. And already working on stuff for work, eating a breakfast burrito and a latte. And and then we didn't get to bed till like 11 that day. Such a long day. But
when you do go to bed, you get shot.
And then I get shot. Very wild. Okay, I brought you an unanswerable question too.
Oh shit.
Oh my God, are you ready? And mine isn't, am I going to hell every night when I go to sleep? When I close my eyes and I go to sleep.
Do I go to hell?
Do I go to hell? What's that song? You tell me that you want me. That's the song. You tell me that you need me. You tell me that, I hear you talking in your sleep. Or no?
I
Yeah.
could name movies for you, but this is out of my depth.
Sorry, bro. I can't help you here. Okay. Is there another word? No, I don't like that one. Let me try this one instead. I was just kidding. I changed my mind. Can someone blind from birth see in their dreams?
Yeah, it's probably like weird, right? It's like what they assume things look like, so they're like.
But what if they've never seen anything? If it's always been black?
I feel like I've read like AMAs on Reddit from people who have been blind from birth, and they say that they do. I feel like that's something I've read, but you know, they're probably guessing, making their best guess about what things look like.
Oh my God.
Maybe they're right, but I don't know.
That's crazy.
It's probably weird stuff.
I mean, I guess because they're blind. Like, it doesn't mean that they don't know what things are, right? Like, there's an education system for them as well.
Mm-hmm. But there's people who can see but can't picture images in their mind.
No way.
Yeah, that's a thing.
What?
Like there's people who are like, if you tell me to like think of an apple, I can think of the idea of an apple like intellectually and conceptually, but I cannot conjure the image of an apple in my mind. It's just something my brain can't do.
That's so bonkers. Wow.
So there's probably like blind people who've been blind from birth that like can like think of images better than someone who can see.
They're probably legit seeing in like 30K in their dreams. Who knows? I don't know.
Blind people? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, that's look, let me hope that that's what they're going through, okay? I never asked you what you were sipping. It looks like you're not sipping on anything.
Oh, I mean, I literally have a Coke with me, but when you asked the question, I thought you meant like what's like my main drink, or what's like
what
a
is your
signature
main drink?
drink?
Since we're on that,
I have been, since I moved to Koreatown, I've been really into boiling my own barley tea.
Whoa. Okay. Talk to us.
Iced barley tea is an amazing beverage. You know, it's just an iced tea.
Okay.
With a barley taste.
Where do you get your barley from?
From the Korean grocery store down the street from where I live. I'll boil some barley, and then I'll add in a little bit of brown sugar. Ooh. Just enough not enough to taste, just enough to offset the natural bitterness.
Yeah.
And then I'll pour it into like a whiskey tumbler with some ice, because I don't really drink whiskey anymore, but it's nice before bed to like pretend, because it kind of looks like it. It's
been a rough day.
Yeah. And barley tea, it doesn't taste like whiskey, but it has a similar vibe to it. It's a very like deep, earthy kind of iced tea that, I don't know, if anyone's trying to like get over a whiskey habit, I would highly recommend just like sipping some barley tea on ice.
There you go, guys. That's it. And so that's basically it. Just get the barley, boil it, put some brown sugar, bam, put it in a banging glass.
It's so easy and cheap.
Throw some ice in there, a cube, if you will. Wow, look at you. You're like changing someone's life right now. Some raging alcoholic with whiskey habits. You're welcome.
What are you sipping?
I'm having coffee.
Oh, okay.
I know. I realized that I have a codependency, and so today, because I went to that boot camp this morning, and I had to pack a bunch of stuff, get stuff ready for this, and I like ate some quick food and then left, and then sat in an hour of traffic to get here, and then I was like, oh. My eyes been kind of twitching, because I think as I'm getting older, my body's not processing stress as well as it has in the past, and so I'm like. You know how, like, you probably don't know, but I will say it anyway. Like, the Hulk tells Black Widow in that first movie when she's recruiting him in that first Avengers movie.
Sure.
Exactly. I knew you were going to. And basically, she goes, like, how have you managed to stay not green this whole time? And she's like, how are you, this whole place is filled with stress inducers. And he goes, that's my secret. I'm always angry. And then that was like the big, whoa, the Hulk is just always angry, but he doesn't agree now. Whoa.
Wait, then how does he turn? Did he get super angry? That doesn't make any fucking sense, Jess.
Damn it! We were all so stoked on that line. You're like, nope, this is utter bullshit. Okay, sorry about that. And so I was gonna say, like, I've been operating. I don't have anxiety and I'm a very chill person, but I'm a heavily stressed person because
That's just your baseline.
yeah, always. And so I think as I'm getting older, or I don't know, maybe I'm not sleeping enough because I've been going to the gym more this year. Who knows? But basically, my left eye has been twitching like a mother. And so I got here, I started setting up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, and I wear contacts. So I'm like, if this one started blurring up a little bit, the right one, and my left one has been twitching for weeks now, I'm like, I can't see. And so like, I can't be trying to run a podcast and not see. Anyway, so my gracious host of this building was like, I'll make you a coffee. Because he's like, you haven't had any, have you? I'm like, no. And I feel better. Mm-hmm. So that was a long-winded answer of, this is coffee.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I probably drink about like 4 to 5 cups of coffee a day.
No way. Mm-hmm. How are you alive?
Because of the coffee.
Oh my God. Do you ever feel like panic-y?
Sometimes. I mean, only if I like go more than that. If I've already had my 4 to 5 cups of coffee and I'm like, well, I'm still working and I'm tired, I want more coffee, then I'll start to get kind of jittery.
At some point, does it just become a flavor thing? Like, is it effective anymore?
It's just the chemical dependency on the caffeine, I think.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm. It's just it gets me feeling happy no matter what's going on.
We all have our vices, guys.
I think it's probably more mood than energy, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. You feel like I have a friend who drinks. I think does he drink Earl Grey? I don't know what he drinks, but he's like, it's my happy tea. And that's like literally back in the day before COVID when he had to work in the office. He'd go get 2 packs. Get his tea going, sipping, and he was like, I'm off to get my happy tea. And like that was just like the main part of his day. I got one last one for you.
Bring it.
All right. If you had to choose, would you rather sit or stand for the rest of your life?
Well, that's a I mean, there's a catch there, because first you're thinking sit, obviously, but then the rest of your life will be a lot shorter if you're just sitting. I mean, you're gonna get heart issues. Right, because that's what they say. Like sitting is the new smoking.
Yes,
because you're not like if you're just sitting all day, you're not like getting like the healthy exercise, and you're gonna get like heart disease or something.
Fair, yes. Mm-hmm. But then standing,
then you can only stand.
That's agony.
Even like sleeping, you have to sleep like a horse.
Oh my God! Wait! You got to sleep like a horse.
Like a honce. You got to slap like a honce. Can you walk?
Yes.
Okay. Are we playing like the game or the floor is open for questions?
Yes.
What kind of chair am I sitting in? Is it just can I sit in a wheelchair, because that's a good
that's pretty
get
solid.
Around.
Yeah, that's a get around. I'm gonna say you're sitting in a baby stroller.
Oh, fuck. So I am movable.
Yeah.
I'm mobile, but someone has to push me. I can't wheel myself.
I mean, you can. You just got to work really hard for it.
I think what I would do is I would get ski poles and just kind of push myself along the ground like that.
Play. So you're actually getting you're getting your cardio in, you're getting your gains, you're doing whatever motion this is, you're skiing, I guess.
But then I'd have to have the awkward conversation with people like, oh, why are you sitting in that chair? Are you like disabled? I'm like, no, my legs work. It's just that like
I have to pick one.
Yeah, there's a would you rather.
And this is what I chose.
I don't have legitimate medical reasons. It's just it was for the sake of a dilemma.
Yeah, this was what I chose, okay? This is where my life is at. How are you doing? Don't judge me. All right, man. Is there anything that you would like to plug before we go with the rest of our lives and on to March?
Yeah, I have nothing going on right now, but if people follow me on Twitter, for however long that website continues to exist,
Elon.
I'm at Metalson, METALSON. And within the next year, I hope to be getting a sketch comedy podcast off the ground that I've spent the last year writing with my friends. I'm going to start producing soon, and hopefully that becomes a real thing in the real life world that I could start plugging.
I love it. I'm so excited to hear. What's your general What are you aiming to do with it?
There's a lot of like improv podcasts, but I just haven't heard a podcast that's like, finely tuned sketch comedy where it's like someone like worked on this and like edited and, made it like a nice finished product.
I love it. There's going to be some sound in there. I can tell already.
Yeah. I've got friends that are like musicians and sound designers. So we got plans to like make it a real like production. There's a really great British podcast that's a sketch comedy show called Souvenir Program.
Love it.
That's kind of like an inspiration for me. Although that has a laugh track because it's made by the BBC. So.
Does that make it cheesy? I don't know.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's just dated. It's like, I feel like I'm in like the 1990s.
You know what, baby? Everything's coming back anyway. So like
that 90s show sitcom that's just come out has a laugh track.
Yeah.
You can't do that now. It doesn't work.
They said bit. And then you're like, no, please stop. Mm-hmm. Hot take.
But I'm not going to watch it if there's a laugh track. 2023, fuck off.
Ain't nobody there. There. No. Amazing. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's so much fun.
Woo! I know. I love that you're like, wait, whoa. I feel like I've been here for like 10 minutes. Like, it just, podcasting, man, you go into this hole and then you disappear.
Hopefully you feel like you've only been listening to this for 10 minutes.
True. All right, guys, just wanted to say some thank yous. So thank you to Sent to Destroy Studios and Chris Bonifay for having my podcast here in your awesome, rad, spooky cave. My creative producer, Joshua Taylor, for, helping me do stuff. Extra equipment, Ted Lee Jones, the reason that you can see Matt today. There he is. Visual graphics, thanks to Eric Ayala for making the cool stuff that we get to see on social. As far as graphics go. And thank you, Matt Olson, not to be confused with the Olsen twins or sisters.
Not to be confused with the Oakland A's player with that same name.
Okay. Yeah.
Not him.
You actually, should we tell them?
Fuck.
Okay, it's time. We're breaking news here. That man is an imposter. The real deal is right here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Please shoot him if you see him.
If you see him, just all right. Last but not least, and not by any means, thank you, listeners, for tuning in every single week. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It is the one thing that really, really, really helps the show. And make sure to follow Matt at
Metalson, METALSON at Twitter.
On Twitter. And don't forget to follow the pod at Toxin Sips at TALKSNSIPS and myself at JFox with 2 X's and 2 underscores. Feel free to write in to toxinsips@gmail.com because we love to hear from you and if there's any memes that you want us to check out on the show. And then lastly, summer, is always here because it's in California. But if you're anywhere else and you want to have some UV protection on your noggin, make sure to message the Insta for merch because we have hats still. And what else do I have here? That's it. All right, we're gonna go. Bye.
Bye.